Right, so solving equations when we've got what we call x on both sides of the equations. Basically, just doesn't have to be x, but if we've got letters on both sides of that equal sign, then we need to have a slightly different approach to what we're doing here. So let's have a little look at what we've got. So here's a question we've got where 6x minus 8 equals 2x plus 20. So on this side, 6x minus 8. This side, 2x plus 20. Now the way to approach this is think, well, what have they got on both sides that we could just sort of, whatever we take away from this side, we're going to have to take away from this side as well. So we actually look for which side has got fewer of the letter. So this side has got 2x, and this side has got 6x. That means they've both got at least 2x. Yeah. So if I could take 2x away from this side, just literally go 2x, take away 2x, which would leave no x's at all. Just leave the 20, but I can do it to this side as well. So you look for the side that's got the fewer x and you get rid of that. You take it away. Now 6x take away 2x leaves 4 x's minus 8, and that equals 20. Right, now we've got a two-step equation that we can solve as we normally would. So I want to deal with the number touching the letter last. So I'm going to deal with this number first. So we've got minus 8. The opposite of that is plus 8. They cancel each other out, which just leaves the 4x on its own. But remember, what we do to one side of the equal sign, we must do to the other. So I'm going to add 8 to this side as well, which keeps the whole thing balanced. If you do it to one side and the other side, the whole thing stays equal, stays balanced. Now 4x equals 28. I don't want 4 of them. I just want 1. And we know that if we've got a number touching the letter, we can get rid of it by dividing, because 4x means 4 times x. So we shall do divide instead. No, 28 divided by 4 is 7. So x must have the value of 7. So the main addition here that we've got to what we've done before is that we look for the side that's got fewer x. In this case, it was 2. And we take that away. So we take 2x away from both sides of the equation. Let's try another example. Okay, I've got 10x minus 2 equals 3x plus 19. Okay, which side? So we've got x, sorry, that's the first thing to spot. You've got the letter on both sides of the equal sign. Which side has got fewer? That's got 10, that's got 3. So they've both got at least 3. So we'll take away the 3. We're going to take that away from both sides. Okay, and 3x, take away 3x, leaves nothing. So that will just leave the 19 on its own. And it's positive 19. I don't really need to write positive 19 because it's sort of built in, isn't it? And 10x take away 3x leaves 7x minus 2. The minus 2 hasn't been adjusted. That's still just there. Okay, then we've got a two-step equation. Deal with the number touching the letter last. Let's deal with the number first. So we've got 2. It's a negative 2, so I'm going to add 2. And I'm going to do it to both sides to keep the whole thing balanced. Remember, minus 2 and plus 2 cancel out. They turn into 0, disappear in a puff of maths. 19 plus 2 is 21. And we know if we've got a number touching a letter, to get rid of it, we divide by that number. Whatever that number is, we divide by it. So I don't want 7 x's, I only want one of them. So I divide what that equals by 7 as well. X equals 21. Right. Let's do 2 more examples then. And then you can have a little go at yourself. Or you could always pause this video if you wanted a bit of extra practice. Okay, we've got 3x plus 8 equals 5x minus 6. Which side, first of all, we've got x's on both sides of the equal sign. So which side has fewer? Well, this one has fewer because it's only got 3. There's 3, so we'll take away the 3x's from both sides. 3x take away 3x leaves nothing, so the 8 is on its own. And 5x, take away 3 of them, just leaves 2x. And of course, the minus 6 is still there. Now we've got a two-step equation. We've only got x on one side, so we'll start getting everything away from the x to leave it on its own. Now deal with the number touching the letter last. So it's the minus 6 I'm going to get rid of first. And I'm going to do that by doing the opposite, by adding 6. Now, of course, I'm going to do it to both sides of the equal sign. Now, let's put the equals in. Minus 6 and plus 6, well, 6 minus 6 leaves nothing. so the 2x is left on its own. And 8 plus 6 is 14. So we don't want two of them, we only want one of them, so we're going to halve it, aren't we? We're going to divide by that number touching x, which is 2. 2x divided by 2 just leaves the 1x on its own. And 14 divided by 2 is 7. It doesn't matter that it's 7 equals x. Equal sign just means it's equal. So x is also equal to 7. Doesn't matter, it's that way round. And last example. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got x on both sides and we've got a bracket, but we've been working on those, haven't we? So we know the first thing to do here is to expand this bracket out. That's probably a good step. So let's do 3 times the x to get 3x. And let's do 3 times the 4 to get 12, and of course they're both positive, so the answer's positive. And this side hasn't been changed at all, it's still just 6x minus 18. Now we can look for which side's got fewer x. This one's got 3, this one's got 6, so it's the 3x that we can take away from both sides, because they've both got at least 3. 3x take away 3x leaves nothing, leaving 12 on its own. And then this side, we've got 6x's, we take away 3 of them, we're left with 3 of them. 6 take away 3 is 3. And of course the minus 18 is still there. Two-step equation, the x is now only on one side, so we'll do what we've been doing lots of so far, which is first of all deal with the number touching x last. So we'll deal with this number, this minus 18. It's been lots of minuses today, hasn't it? So lots of adding on. And what you add to one side, you must add to the other. So 18 take away 18 leaves nothing. It just turns into 0, which is what we wanted. And 12 plus 18 is 30. So 3x equals 30. I don't want 3 of them. I only want 1 of them. So I need to divide it by 3. Divide by that number touching x. But of course, what you do to one side, you must do to the other as well. So x has the value of 10. Right, so the first thing to do is always look for the side that has fewer x, and that's what we're going to remove, and we're going to do it from both sides. All right. Okay. Now is your chance to do a couple of questions. So pause the video, have a go at them, and see if they match with my answers and explanation afterwards. So pause now. Okay, so we have unpaused the video. You have, of course, spent 3 hours working on these two equations because it's taken you ages because they're really hard. Or not. We'll find out. So we've got an equation with x on both sides. We've got 8x minus 12 and 2x plus 24. Look for the side that's got fewer, and that is this side. It has 2x, so we're going to take 2x away from both sides of the equation. 2x take away 2x leaves nothing. So 24 is left on its own over here. 8x take away 2x leaves 6 of them, leaves 6x's. So we've got 6x minus 12. All right, two-step equation, so 2 steps to go. Minus 12, so we're going to add 12 to both sides. So plus 12 and negative 12 cancel out, which leaves 6x on its own. 24 plus 12 is 36. But we don't want 6x's, we only want one of them, so we divide by the number touching x, because 6 divided by 6 will leave 1x on its own. I don't want to know what 6x's are worth, that's useless, I just want to know one of them. So we'll divide both sides by 6. Lots of 6's, x must be worth 6. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because 6 times 6 is 36. Another example over here then. So first of all, which side has fewer x? It's this one. So we have got 3x, so we are going to take the 3x away from both sides. 3x take away 3x leaves nothing. 5x take away 3x's just leaves 2x's. And of course, the negative 10 is sat there on its own. Okay, deal with the number touching x last, so we'll deal with the minus 10. So we're going to add 10. And we're going to do it to both sides of the equal sign to keep the whole thing balanced. If I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. Otherwise, we'll change the value of it. 10x take away... Oh, sorry. 10 take away 10. There's no x's there. That leaves nothing. So it just leaves the 2x on its own. And 4 plus 10 is 14. Now, if 2x's are worth 14, I think we can already guess what 1x must be worth. But we'll do the official way. We'll do the working out. Divide by the number touching the letter, because 2x means 2 times x, so we divide by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So hopefully you got both of those right. 2 more for you to do. Okay, and this time I've chucked in a couple of brackets as well, just for a bit of fun. So pause the video now, and then unpause it when you've worked out the answers. Okay, we've unpaused the video. So let's go. 2 times 2x, because we're going to expand this bracket first. Well, 2 lots of 2x makes 4x. And 2 times the 3 is 6. And they're both positive, so the answer is positive. And that equals 6x minus 6. And this side has the fewer x's, because there's only 4 over here. So we're going to take away that 4x from both sides of the equal sign, just to keep the whole thing balanced. So 4x take away 4x leaves nothing. So 6 is on its own. 6x take away 4x leaves 2, because 6 take away 4 is 2. And that's still minus 6. Okay, so have a look. What are we going to do? Well, let's deal with the number touching the letter last. So we'll add 6 to get rid of that minus 6. And we're going to add 6 to both sides, because you've got to keep it balanced. Now 6 take away 6 leaves nothing, so 2x is left on its own. 6 plus 6 is 12. So 2x's are worth 12 in this case. Well, we don't want 2, we only want one of them, so we're going to halve it. We divide by that number touching x, but of course what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So half of that will just leave the 1x on its own. Half of this is 6. So x has the value of 6. I don't know why I always double underline my answers, but I do. Not something you have to do. Okay, this time, well, we've got 2 brackets. So we have to expand both of them. Right. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And 4 lots of 3x, well, 4 times 3 is 12, so it's going to be 12x. And 4 times the 1 is 4, and they're both positive, so that's positive. Right, which side has fewer x? Well, that is going to be this side, 5x. So we're going to take 5x away from both sides of the equation to keep it balanced, because what you do to one side, you must do to the other. 5 take away 5 leaves nothing, so negative 10 is left on its own. 12 take away 5 leaves 7. And that, of course, there's the 4 on the end. Okay, 2-step equation here. X is now only on one side, so we'll deal with the number touching x last. We'll deal with this number first, the plus 4. Oh, for the first time in ages, we're taking away. Because it's plus 4, we're going to take away 4. We do the opposite. Plus 4 minus 4 leaves nothing, so 7x is left on its own. Now we've got negative 10, and we're going to take away 4. If you're not sure, always chuck in a little number line. There's my 0. There's my negative 10. If I'm taking away 4, I'm always going to go this way if I'm taking away. So minus 10 or negative 10, take away 4, leaves negative 14. Now I don't want 7x's. I only want to know the value of one of them. Now they've all got the same value, so if I just divide it by 7, I can find out what 1x is going to be. Divide by the number touching the letter. Now negative 14 divided by 7. 14 divided by 7 leaves 2. But we've got a negative divided by positive. It's a mix of signs, so it must be negative. So x has the value of negative 2 or minus 2 if you think of it like that. Okay? Right, great stuff. Your last task then is to, there's a little URL down here, but in the Show My Homework post, there is the link. It's much better to click on the link, just in case I've got this thing wrong down here. I've found one wrong before. I want you to then work out what you think the answer is going to be. In this case, I'd take away 2y from both sides. So y plus 3 equals 5. I'd then take away 3. I think y has got the value of 2. So do the working out on a piece of paper, but do it properly. Not like me. Do all the working out like what I did before, he says in terrible English. Y equals 2. Once you've done all of the questions, obviously click on Check Answers. If you've done really well, great. If you haven't, or if you muck up and you want to start again, you can always practice by clicking New Worksheet, and it will give you a whole new set of questions randomly produced. Okay, all right, and then obviously I'd like to know what scores you get, so just click on Submit in Show My Homework. Okay, right, well done, good luck.